Hi, Chris here with two of my favourite dual boot tablets here from China. We've got on the right the Teclast X98 Air 3G model. It's a 64GB model. And here on the left is the Chuwi Vi10. They're both dual boots. I'm just going to be in Windows just for this video here because I just want to show you just a couple of points here and benchmark them against each other. So there's a lot of interest in both of these tablets. They're both very good tablets. Of course, they've got different screen ratios and screen resolutions. The Chuwi has the 1366 by 768 screen resolution, and then we have the iPad Retina screen that's in the Teclast, which is 2048 by 1536 pixels. So it's a lot sharper looking. It's got a higher pixel density of 264. And the Chuwi, I haven't actually worked that out, but it's around approximately 150 or something like that. Definitely lower than 200. So it's not as sharp to look at. Now they both have the same Atom Z3736F processor in them. And that clocks up to 2.16 gigahertz. And they have 2 gigabytes of single channel RAM on there. So speed-wise, they're very similar. I'll just show you the benchmark that I've run here, Geekbench 3 on both of them. So the Geekbench scores are almost identical. There's not much on them really at all. We're only talking about like 20 points or something like that. So they're the same really. So that kind of performance-wise there, when it comes down to just raw CPU power, they're pretty much identical in that regard. I am going to test the game out in this video here. That's a gaming benchmark, which is Resident Evil 5, and run that and see which one is faster at the same resolution, of course. Before I do that, I'll just quickly go over the designs of the tablet. So obviously you have a clone here of an iPad, which is really what this is. This is just like an iPad Air that Teclast have cloned, and they've done a really good job of it. I mean, they do have the same exact screen for starters, which is really helpful for them. So the screen brightness on the Teclast, I'll show you, that's the full brightness there. Now the sensor of the camera is going to adapt and adjust to that, but it is actually brighter than the full brightness on the Chuwi. Maybe you can't see that in the camera, it's very hard to show you that, but it is slightly brighter. And the other thing too to notice that in terms of build, they're both quality builds, they're pretty good. We have an aluminium backing housing that's on the Teclast. We have the two speakers at the bottom. Cameras on them. When you got a better camera on the Teclast, that's a 5 megapixel camera on the rear. On the Chuwi, you only have a 2 megapixel camera. And of course, you do have 3G SIM slot here, normal size SIM card goes in there. And the micro SD. And there is a 2 megapixel camera on the front, the same as the Chuwi. Now the Chuwi on the other hand is basically a Surface clone. I'll just lower that screen brightness so the sensor can let us see actually more of the tablets. There we go. And it's got the 2 megapixel camera up there that I just mentioned. It has this docking port at the bottom, so we have the Pogo 5-pin docking port. It has a cover case combination stand as well. It doubles as a stand for the tablet, so it's very handy. And what sets it apart from all the other tablets is this here. If the camera will let me focus onto it, is there's 2 USB ports right here. You hopefully can just make them out. Those are really handy to have. We have a micro SD card slot, and that fits in quite nicely. It's a little bit tricky to get the memory cards out of because it actually sits right in there, so it's never going to come out. It's not accidentally going to come out. Neither would it accidentally come out on the Teclast, by the way. And both of them have HDMI out, which is good. And the design is with glass front and back on the Chuwi, which is more prone to fingerprints. I mean, you can just see smudges and fingerprints all over the place. You'd constantly be just cleaning this thing all the time. That's not too bad. And there is that 2 megapixel camera on the rear, which is not as good, but it's still okay for video chat and things like that. It's not really that bad. But if you're going to be taking any photos of text or things like that, then not so good. So they're very different tablets. It depends on what your needs are for what you want in a tablet. This is more of a tablet to get some serious work done on. You can do some proper typing. It's a nice keyboard to type on. I've covered that in my other videos of the Chuwi Vi10. And that's your iPad, basically. So basic iPad things, and you can run the store games. Now performance on both of them graphically is going to be different, because if you run a store game or a game in Android at native resolution, this one here is always going to be faster because of that lower resolution. It doesn't have to render all those extra pixels. The GPU doesn't have to work as hard. So it's always going to have that advantage there. So what I'm going to do now is just run a bit of a test here on the machines. And before I wanted to show you was the drive speeds. So the eMMC drive of both of them, similar kind of speeds. This is the Chuwi here. And I'll just bring up the crystal mark result here. Oh, it stopped working, but hopefully you can see that there. So we can see that it's slightly faster. Now this is a Samsung drive here on the Teclast X98 Air 3G, and we have a Toshiba on the Chuwi Vi10. So they're brand name drives that they are using on there. Just a little bit faster, the write speeds on the Teclast there. So now I'm just going to benchmark both of them with the Resident Evil 5 benchmark here. I'm going to run it in DirectX 10 mode, so it's going to be a little bit harder on the systems, but set the resolution to both of them to be the exact same resolution and see which one's going to be faster. So there's going to be no kind of advantage given to the Chuwi because of the lower resolution. If I set the resolution the same, it should be fine there. Now just boot them at the same time and see which one is going to load faster than the other one. So if I just try and hopefully do this at the same time. So this probably isn't really fair because I think the resolution is definitely going to be probably higher on the Teclast. So I've just killed off the light here and trying to run the flash, trying to kill off the reflections. For reflections are just the worst thing when you're trying to do a review with tablets. So hopefully I can try and get both of these screens here in the shot. So I'm setting up a similar resolution on both of them. And you can see here that it's 1280 by 720 on both of the tablets. And I've left all the other settings are at default here. Of course, with the Teclast, I had to actually plug in a micro USB to normal size USB adapter to run a wireless keyboard here. So I'll see if I go in now and try and run the benchmark here at the same time. And of course, make it the fixed benchmark. Okay, so set both of them here at fixed and run them and see what the score is at the end. So that then was maximum sound on the X98 Air 3G, and I'm just going to turn the volume up on the Chuwi so you can hear what the speakers sound like on the Chuwi. I'll just turn that off because that's going to drive me crazy. So I'm already seeing, just looking at it now, there is definitely a difference there, and it does look to be faster as I thought it would be on the Vi10. Even though we're running in the same resolution, same hardware, it always seems to come out faster, this tablet. So there's nothing really in it. I mean, look at that difference. That is really nothing. 0.7, okay, but there is a difference. It is slightly faster, and it's just showing itself there. And there's quick little tests I've done. So thanks for watching the video. This is a very quick rundown comparison of the two tablets here, so the Chuwi Vi10 and the Teclast X98 Air 3G. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you on my next video.